everyone, and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, the new kids on the block are duking it out as Dark, playing as the Georgians in green, takes on Kasva, playing as the Armenians in red. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate and closed-off surroundings and try to go up to Feudal Age, probably Castle Age as fast as possible, let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today, and then most importantly, we will click on the donkey cart, the mule cart, and see what kind of sound it makes. Now, the Georgians are a cavalry-centric civilization with some pretty powerful economic features. To start with, all Georgian mountain units automatically regenerate HP, think Viking Berserker, pull villagers, and can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space, which does help with their unique unit, the Manaspa. This is a tanky but somewhat fragile cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, Manaspas do get a +1 attack boost for every clump of 5 Manaspas or Knights, or Nightline units, I should say, up to a maximum of +4 for 20 such units. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, it is very important for the Georgians to take the high ground, although I'm going to zoom out on a map like Arena, not exactly a lot of high ground, if any, because their units, their buildings take 40% less damage when fighting downhill compared to the usual 25. Now, to help the Georgians build as big and as powerful an army as possible, they do start the game, as we saw, with a free mule cart. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers within an 8-tile radius by 10%, and their economy can be much harder to raid since they're repairing buildings costs 50% fewer resources, and their defensive structures can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. That is the Georgian civilization. Let's pivot our eye to the northeast of the map, where Kasva in red is playing as the Armenians, an infantry civilization with a few cool backup units. To start with, all Armenian infantry come with extra line of sight and are available one age earlier once you hit Feudal Age, which means Armenians actually have access to long swordsmen and pikemen in Feudal, and two-handed swordsmen, champions, and halberdiers in Castle Age. Now, these same infantry units, except for those spearman line units I mentioned, can be upgraded to get a big +30 boost to their HP, and their first unique unit is the Warrior Priest, a unit that blurs the line between Man of War and Man of the Cloth, being an infantry unit that can actually heal friendly units and also gather relics. Now, to support their slower moving bipedal army on the battlefield, the Armenians can field a second unique unit, the Composite Bowman. This is a foot archer whose attack actually ignores the armor of all land units except for siege. Now, in order to help the Armenians get their military-industrial complex up and running ASAP, their first fortified church gets a free relic. Their mule carts are 25% cheaper, and all mule cart technologies are 25% more effective, which means that their lumberjacks, their miners, are a lot more productive. Now, the moment I've been waiting for. Let's click on the donkey and see what kind of sound it makes. I am hoping for a big old yah. Let's see. Oh, no. No, developers, why did you do this? Oh, you gave us clowns so much hope, and instead you just inserted the kind of a whinny sound of a horse. Not exactly what I was expecting. In any event, those are the two civilizations brand new as of yesterday. Oh, Kasva. He knows this is a one-way trip. If he goes in there, those gates are not opening. A villager, a scout, move forward to try to take him out. Green's scout cannot. Now, I'm assuming, even though these are new civilizations with some pretty interesting and fun mechanics that previously didn't exist in the game, that the general meta of Arena is going to remain unchanged, meaning the players are going to follow a 3-step program. Step 1, get your butts up to Castle Age. Step 2, once in Castle Age, fight over these relics. And step 3, once all the relics are gathered, build your armies and start butting heads. Now, the interesting thing is, every time you have a Armenian civilization or player on the in the game itself, oh, look at that, he's building the cart right next to the gold pile. Every time you have an Armenian in the game, it does increase the total number of relics, because even though there's 5 relics on the field in a nice W.Kasva shape, the fact that they get a free relic with their first fortified church, which I'm hoping we're going to get to see, means that there's going to be a total of 6 relics up for grabs. I wonder what happens if you destroy that first fortified church of the Armenians. Does that relic become ungarrisoned and then can be taken by the opponent? Is it possible that our Georgian might at one point have 6 total relics? Who knows? Not me, for sure. Let's keep an eye out and see what's happening. Oh man, what a fun, cool addition. Now, my question is this. It's a 1x1 tile unit, but the actual graphics cover 3 tiles. Can you build a palisade right here, right underneath the wood pile? Can you build a stone wall right underneath the donkey? I really do wonder. Or is it blocked by the additional size? Probably you can build. I wonder how the graphics will look at that point if you can actually do that. Ooh, green has got to be very careful. Dark, you are about to lose your scout. Make a straight beeline south. Maybe bring another unit to help out, because the more you pivot, the more you go left, right, and try to dodge. Somehow in this game, the mechanic always seems to work out in the favor of the chasing unit. Georgian hits Feudal Age, just needs a little bit more food, a tiny bit more gold, and he will hit Castle, or rather go up to Castle off the back of 22 villagers. Scouts go their separate ways. Let's see how much of the map they've actually seen. 3 relics for our Armenian. Nope. Oh, just barely got this one. Only 2 for our Georgian, who, oh, how sour is this? The relic is literally in the next tile over to his vision. He also hits Feudal Age with not quite the resources, although by the time he finishes the market and the blacksmith, his resources will number 800, 200, and he'll be able to click up the castle. But our Georgian is heading up first. Architectural style, nothing we haven't seen before, I don't think. But this, what an absolute cool unit. I love that barrel. I love the all the different accoutrements that come on it. A little pile of gold. Not too sure what's in this keg. Probably some ale for the hungry workers. I'm really disappointed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the clown, the child in me. Actually, no, their houses do look unique. The rest, I think, kind of looks very similar, but the houses, maybe I'm wrong. I'll take a look at the architecture once I have a chance, just so I can at least differentiate it where it is different. But I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who expected a bit more of a donkey sound out of the mule cart. But that's going to be the last time I mention that. Cast of Empires is disappointed. If any one of the developers is watching this, shame on you for getting my hopes up for a silly donkey sound. But no, it's neither here nor there. Stage 1 of the game looks like it is about to be over in 13 seconds with our Georgian hitting castle first. 2 fewer villagers means that he is 50 seconds, literally. Wow. Not every day the actual mechanics work out to be exactly the training time of 2 villagers apart. Immediately builds a barracks. Immediately builds a fortified church. Now remember, for the Georgians, anything within this, I think in total it's 19 tiles. A square, 19 by 19. But because this structure is 3 tiles deep, it's 8 from here, 8 from here, 8 from all sides. So right now, all of these villagers are working 10% faster, which is just an absolute crazy, crazy economic feature. And this structure doesn't cost a lot either. It is not an expensive structure. And let's see it. The first Armenian monastery pops up with a relic inside. Pretty damn cool feature. So 6 total relics on the map. Now, if you'll notice, Capture Age recently made a few changes to their interface. If you take a look at the bottom right of your screen, it no longer tells us how many town centers and castles a player has. Instead, there are 2 new columns. The first one is the third one that says resources collected, where my mouse is. So you can actually see as the game progresses how many resources the players have actually gathered in total. And then 2 columns over, relic gold, I don't know /rel what that means, but relic gold generated. So far our Armenian, 36 gold generated by this 1 relic that he's got in here. And we're seeing warrior priests. Let's follow along on the journey. Now, the warrior priest dynamic in Arena is going to be pretty fun to watch, because you cannot... number one, they do still take the same amount of damage from these units. These units come with a monk bonus. This is still technically a monk unit. The only difference, one of the only differences is take a look at the HP on this unit. 80 HP, and it can fight back, which is absolutely crazy. So you've got a monk unit that can fight off its attackers and has more than double the HP of a newborn monk. That being said, that bonus is still active. So the scouts, I mean, right now it should be a +6, right? Yeah, +6. They're not light cavalry yet, which means they cannot really take on. There's the 30 HP of a monk. There's the 80 HP of a warrior priest. And there we go. We see him taking a relic. Love seeing all the features, all the dynamics. I also love how this unit attacks. It takes these big, wide swipes at its opponent. It looks like Dark has already killed 3 units of his opponent, 2 warrior priests and the original scout. What are the relics? So it actually still does tell you relic count. 3 relics for our Armenian, 1 for our Georgian, about to become 2, possibly 3, because I see the monk is already heading over here. So we're going to have a fun little situation where even though there's only 5 relics that spawned, the players have 3 relics apiece. That is super duper fun. I also kind of want to see, there's a lot of discussion of these fortified churches, because when you, first of all, you can garrison villagers inside of this. And when you garrison villagers, they actually add arrows very similar to a town center. Now, in addition to that, when you garrison a relic, it is 1 arrow per relic. So now this is going to have 2 projectiles. There you go, 0 + 2. This church is going to have 0 + 3 projectiles. And that could get potentially very fun. Very fun, very quick. But it looks like I'm getting very much ahead of myself, getting very giddy about all of the different features of these civilizations. For now, each one of these structures is going to fire 3 arrows with a 5 attack. Plus, however many arrows any villagers inside add. Green kind of just camping out here. Not really keeping an eye on the northern part of Red's base, but doesn't really need to. The relics are done. Now the players, both of them have no resources to speak of. Let's see if anyone has already clicked up to Imperial. 4 town centers for our Armenian, 3 for our Georgian. Another fortified church, great location, possibly second only to a location maybe here. So you can have stone miners and gold under the, what do we want to say, influence, under the aura of the fortified church. There's going to need to be a bit of a lingo change, I think, in Age of Empires, now that there's more and more of these units with kind of mechanics. It all started with the Roman centurion and the effect that he has on the movement and the attack speed of militia line units under his command. Now you have units like, where are they, by the way? Where are his warrior priests that heal units within their radius? 11 base attack is not terrible. 1 base armor. It does move pretty damn slow, but it is a super fun, cool unit. Look at this. An axe, a hatchet, and a dagger. Okay. So this warrior priest came to play, like I said, blurring the lines between Man of War and Man of the Cloth. This is going to be a fun unit to watch, as are all of these new units. Anytime. I really hope we get to see composite bowmen. Although right now, okay, you know what? 640 stone for our Armenian means that we may just see the composite bowman. I also, by the way, kudos to the developers of Capture Age, who have added a few changes to the interface that have made it much better. One thing that I really like is now when a player puts down a structure, it has a bit of a translucent look to it. So this house, for example, and then once they click it, it becomes darker. So it's a bit of a, like this castle, you see how it's a bit translucent? And now all of a sudden, it's a little different than what it used to be. Not hugely different. So red sees this attack force, green sees the castle going up. Both players know exactly what's what. This is a lot of villagers building this castle. 11 villagers. Green is expanding to the back of his base. Neither player really attacking into the other. 8 kills to 1 at the moment. Our Georgian's still in the lead. Of course, he's the one with the military out on the field. Additional gold, pretty damn close to our Armenian base, whereas the additional gold for our Georgian very far, although he does have a bit more stone nearby. Our Armenian stone very far off campus. Funny, both of them have their secondary stone piles a little bit in the forward position. And let's see. Monk versus New Age Monk. Oh, the light cav come and smash him from the side. One monk does go down. Second monk will probably go down as well. Oh, especially if he moves like that. But the light cav now with their plus 10 attack against monk units should be able to do a pretty damn good job against these infantry units, which I'm assuming attack on a 2, right? The light cav attack on what? A 2. And what do the warrior priest attack on? Oh, by the way, we're seeing composite bowman. Probably the same 2, right? Yeah, 2. What is a composite bowman attack on, by the way? Okay, just also the base 2 of an archer. And here we go. They look like a disco group, bobbing left, bobbing right as they move out. And let's highlight the green units and see just how effective these composite bowmen are. Remember, they ignore the pierce armor of all land units with the exception of siege. So these light cav, I mean, I want to see these guys take on hussars. 3 pierce armor is pretty damn good in early castle, but not against a unit that, I mean, attacks on a 4 usually would do 1 damage. Now it does full 4 damage. Leichai, a Woots steel archer unit, rounding off the various branches of the military cart being built. Where does the donkey come from? I know I'm gonna get in trouble because I keep calling it a donkey instead of a mule. It looks, by the way, like our Georgian rather, is going full on civ feature with the cavalry upgrades here. This is a lot of villagers on stone. He wants to plop down a whole bunch of castles. One cool thing about the mule cart, though, it does not take up any population space. So feel free to build about 1 billion of them if you can. Although remember, it does also cost a bit of food. It's not just the standard 100 wood that a mining camp or a lumber camp would cost. It does also cost 20 food. Which is, I guess, supposed to deter you from building a lot of them earlier on. Not too sure what the 20 food cost. Obviously, anytime the developers add a cost to anything, it's to deter players from constructing or training that unit. I'm really interested to see also the dynamic. Apparently, when these resources get mined out, the mule cart automatically pivots to the next closest resource. Okay, we've got some stables here. 5 stables. Actually, let me zoom out even more. 5 stables. He is going full on light cavalry. Okay, not bad if your opponent is adding in a whole bunch of these warrior priests. They do it, like I said before, come with the monk armor, and now they're hussars. Oh god, now they're coming with a plus 12 attack against monks. But what are the upgrades on these composite bowmen? They've now got plus 2 attack and range. By the way, I am in love with the new castles. Number 1, you can see through it, which is not something you see in a lot of buildings. And number 2, the Armenian castle particularly looks to me like Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings, doesn't it? With the mountain built into it. Tell me this doesn't look like something straight out of folklore, out of Lord of the Rings. This one too, but to a bit of a lesser degree, the Georgian one. But what absolute cool. I mean, they're supposed to be the mountain royals, and they certainly do look it. Like I said, the other structures, I think we've seen this architecture before. Nothing to write home about, but the fortified church and the castles. I love the Armenian castle. Bear tries to get these villagers. That is a very loud bear attack as they plop down a castle. But look at this. With the mining cart, mule cart, let's actually zoom out and see how many mule carts are on the field for both players. See if they actually are saving any resources. So 6 of them are on the field for our Armenian. And 5 for our Georgian, who looks like he's building one. Where is that? Oh yeah, right here next to the gold. So after the castle goes up, then the gold. So far, I think it's more expensive than a traditional mining camp because of the food cost. And look at this, barracks being plopped down. 32 army count to 31, 139 villager count to 134. Both players taking a moment. I hope this means we are going to get to see a massive engage as our Armenian goes up to 3 castles. Elite composite bowman being trained. He's getting Feriders as well. Now what the Feriders does is twofold. Number 1, all infantry units are going to jump up in HP. So this 95 is going to go up to, let's click it. Let's see. 195. What's 95 plus 30? 125. And second of all, increases the healing speed of this unit, the warrior priest. So right now, the warrior priest, I believe, heals 2 HP per second. I shouldn't say right now, right before the Feudal's upgrade. It heals 2 HP per second. Now it heals 4 HP per second, which actually means it heals quicker than a monk, I believe. The Hussars, remember, they are mounted. They are Georgian, which means they regenerate HP. We're an Imperial, so they regenerate 15 HP per minute. Which is not quick, but it's, it's free. So, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Our Armenian army moves out. This is a lot. Now, one thing that is not affected are spearman line units. They do not get affected by that Feudal's upgrade. And the buildings do not get affected by the composite bowman's armor ignoring. Okay. So the outpost goes down. Oh, red. Very cocky here, placing this outpost. I mean, Kasva is using his entire army here to attack these outposts, which, I mean, does destroy them quicker, but it also does telegraph to your opponent that exactly what kind of army composition. And this is a lot of Hussars. Their upgrades, fully upgraded. Let's see it. They engulf the infantry to the south, to the north. The warrior priest, the halberdiers, and the composite bowmen are doing an amazing job. I'm going to highlight the green units just so we can see the composite bowmen in action. I mean, look at how quickly it's destroying these Hussars. Holy shit, this unit has 6 pierce armor, which basically means it has no pierce armor. Why are you going to the left? What were you chasing? Hand cannoneers. What an absolute bloodbath of Hussars. Holy moly, the composite bowman. How many kills? 21 kills. Not great. Not great. So the infantry putting in a lot more work, but our Georgian, undeterred, unfazed, is adding in more and more Hussars. Did he upgrade their attack speed? No. Actually, wait. Armenians... Yeah, Armenians don't get thumb ring. Oh, no. So that means their archers are basically stuck at 2 attack. Oh, look at this. Look at this cool addition to Capture Age as well. The pellets of the cannoneers. You can actually see where they're going now. Oh, man. I'm going to write a big thank you email to the Capture Age people. I mean, this is just an absolute work of beauty right now. I am loving this. I love seeing the bullets. What do we... I guess they're bullets, right? Being shot out of those guns. Archer unit. Remember, his attack does not ignore the armor of siege units, which is why this 150 pierce armor is still rather allowing him to only take away 1 HP. It looks like another incursion here attempted by the composite bowman. What are their upgrades at like now? 8 attack, ignores armor. Wow, how cool is this? I am really fanboying out, man. Just when I thought, you guys know, if you've watched, first of all, if you haven't watched, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, welcome to the channel. Like, subscribe, enable notifications, all that good stuff that I should probably be saying every video but aren't. But if you know who I am, if you watch me for more than a hot second, you know how much I love this game, and anything to make it prettier, anything to make it nicer is just absolutely gets a big thumbs up from my side. So like I said, I'm going to write a nice big email to the... I don't know if it's going to be big. I'm going to write a nice email to the Capture Age people because they have really made this game, at least for the casters, an absolute work. I mean, it's like watching an art unfold before our very eyes. It looks like to the north, halberdiers have entered the chat. To the south, though, is the real story. Our Armenian is pushing heavy into our Georgian. Our Georgian retreats to the safety of his settlement, his castle is under attack. Now remember, it does cost 50% fewer resources to repair their structures for the Georgians, but repair it against how many trebs? What is this? 6 trebs? 8 trebs? Nah, 2 of them are coming in. 6 trebs. I mean, good luck with that. Good luck with that. It might cost less, but man, is it going to take a long time. And the composite bowmen are just kind of spreading out, handling these Hussars quite well. I wonder why our Georgian didn't go for any heavier cavalry. Okay, finally adding in some skirmishers, which is great. The composite bowmen will kill them, but they'll get killed by these skirmishers just as fast, thanks to their bonus damage. Oh, now the skirmishers enter in the castle fire. The Treb's still firing, destroying archery ranges. He sees the skirmishers. He knows it's a nice counter to basically everything that he's got. Oh, look at our Armenians starting to mix in light cavalry. They do not get hussars, which means light cav is about as good as it's going to get for him. He is supply capped. Our Georgian down to 150 supply as he struggles to produce units. He's producing about 15 units at a time. Our Armenian producing 55 units at a time. And he is on the front doorstep. Now, the one thing he's got to worry about is these fortified churches. They now fire 3 arrows, and if he garrisons villagers in here, they're going to fire a whole bunch more. Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful, but the bombardment begins. An emergency castle being built here, but the light cav say, nuh-uh, this is our land. We are going to block your development. We are going to put together a petition of the neighborhood committee, and we are going to say no to redeveloping this land as a castle. Emergency castle. The back gets discovered by red as well. Oh no, green is starting to fall apart here, although does have an insane amount of army, 51. Focusing his army though on the front. He is cleaning up at the front, which means these Trebs have to be careful. I don't think they can really last very long. Why are you building a mule cart? You could have just brought one of your other ones. And this is the interesting part to me. I mean, the mule cart could be placed here in the middle between the miners and the lumberjacks. But you're still spending 100 wood. You're still spending 20 food for each one. Mobile as it is. And this is an absolute nightmare here for red, who is entering choke point after choke point and getting demolished by these hand cannoneers. 46 kills. 2 kills for every single one of these hand cannoneers. He is cleaning up the back of his base. Green has stabilized, but he is down. Take a look at the villager count. 30 odd villagers. Oh, man. Oh man, these villagers do not stand a chance. One composite bowman should be enough to clean that entire cluster up. This is absolutely fan. What a fun first game for these two civilizations to showcase. I mean, I wish we got to see some Manaspas. But Hussar with hand cannoneer support is just as freaking good. But the hand cannoneers, they're focusing on the wrong units. These composite bowmen are shredding them to pieces. There were 23, there's only 11 left, but these 10 are the veteran. This is Napoleon's old guard. 36, 37 kills for them. Where are you going? You're in the wrong neighborhood, these green hand cannoneers say. But red is just everywhere. Kasva is raiding Mr. Yo style with a Hydra attack to the right, to the left, to the center, to the even further left. I said right. Oh my god, I meant left. I know my my directions, I promise. And as long as these walls are open, red is just going to be non-stop aggressing. Although, I mean, green isn't doing himself any favors by taking these fights underneath a castle. Loses more. Now his army count is down to 18. His infrastructure is being demolished. And his opponent is at 80 army count. Wow. Wow, what an absolute banger of a first game for these two civilizations. 21 kills on these composite bowmen is not great, which tells me, at least in this matchup, there were more of a supporting unit, probably tickling away at the HP of the hussars and the hand cannoneers to let the light cav and the halberdiers have their way with those units. Because otherwise, I can't explain why such a large number of 19 archers only have 21 kills. These light cav are raiding this. I mean, these guys have 11 kills. Now he's attacking. I mean, I guess technically, does this count as a land unit? Let's see. No, so he's doing only 4 damage to this unit because it has 4 pierce armor, and he attacks on an 8. Okay, so this doesn't technically count. So it does still count when it's attacked as an actual mining camp. Oh, I wish we got to see the fortified churches taking on a bunch of units. I wonder if it makes sense. Excuse me, it makes... I think... What happened there in my mic? I wonder if it makes sense to spread your relics out. 1 relic in each one. Because then it at least adds arrows. Although I guess that's not really great, because you can always just garrison these villagers. I wonder why green didn't garrison his villagers inside the fortified churches. But wow, wow, wow. What a absolute crazy first game that I've seen out of these two civilizations, especially against each other. Where is his last warrior priest? He is hiding inside the castle. Okay. So one more elite composite bowman comes out right before the castle's HP gets a boost. Let's take a look at the stats. 257 hussars, 163 halberdiers. So we didn't really get to see the unique units as much as we may have wanted to, although we got a nice early Castle Age, what am I looking for? Demonstration of the composite bowman and the warrior priest. But let's take a look. I mean, we can see the resource collection is almost identical. Holy shit, 1,000 resources apart? And the Armenians, with that free relic that gave them an early gold boost, take a bit more gold, even though they do have the same number of relics. I mean, look at this. This is amazing. Now I mean, I do like to click into here, but I can see right away that the economies are very similar. More wood for our Armenian, more food for our Georgian, but 10,000 more food for our Georgian. No big surprise there with the Hussar play. But look at this, 7,000 almost more gold for our Armenian, and not quite a castle's worth, just underneath a castle's worth of more stone conversions. 19 conversions out of an army count of 364 is what? 5% of his army? That's not bad at all, to be honest. And that was just an epic first game. Unfortunately for Green, he just left these gaps in his base way too long. And Red used those gaps to just absolutely poke and poke and poke. I mean, Green had an opportunity a few times to wall these areas in. You've got villagers right here. I get that your opponent brought 6 trebs, but those trebs are here now. If you can secure your base, especially with how many villagers did he have on food right before he died? 83 villagers on food. You can produce hussars for days, especially since there's 6 stables inside your base that are nice and safe and secure. And trebs, not exactly Cataperuto trebs, not exactly fast-firing units. So you do have a bit of time you can produce units out of these structures, at least for a little bit, even though you lost your castle. But what an absolute baller game out of both players. Our Armenians showing us the, I want to say, support that these composite bowmen can provide. Because again, I mean, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. 19 units with 21 kills to me seems like it's not really... At least in this particular game, they didn't really get as much damage as they could have. They were there mostly to soften up units like these hussars so that the halberdiers can take a one poke, and kill them once their HP was sufficiently lowered by the composite bowman. Because again, the attack of an 8, I mean, the base of attack of a 4 is hilarious. I think Spanish villagers attack more than that. To borrow a phrase, your granny could scrap better than that, but the fact that they ignore armor is fantastic. And with those armor ignoring units, with that cool warrior monk who is hiding in Helm's Deep against the orcish incursion, and with the breaching of Green's base, it is Kasva, our Armenian, who takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.